What is up? What's going on, guys? Trizzle here, tuning in, bringing you guys another great war recap. Of course, I'm over here in Toledo. We did actually finish our merger with Segafredo, so of course we expect nothing but baller status moving forward. Great group of guys, Dutch clan. Did end up combining with Toledo, and as you know, we're part of the TL clan family, so we plan on making a big splash in the MLCW. We'll probably even get into another league because we don't want to wait till next year. Of course, we did have a pretty good war against this Russian clan, opnoha. How do you ever say that? I'm not Russian, but they ended up being a clan that we matched a few wars ago. We beat them by 1 star last time. This time around, it was the same story. Granted, they had a couple good 11 hits. They actually cleared 2, I believe, of our Town Hall 11s, as you can see. But they got really sloppy, and for whatever reason, they didn't do that well on their dip hits. So that was the deciding factor. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the all-star attacks this war. We did have a couple sexy raids that I wanted to bring you. Starting with a 10v10. Here we've got Bassi going against their number 8, Krantz. And he goes in with a little Town Hall 10 Falcon. As you know, the Falcon is all the rage. Very OP attack. And in the hands of a consistent attacker, you will see nothing but solid 3 stars, guys. Especially against a lower tier base. Something that doesn't quite have the same amount of DPS. But in any event, as he pulls off the opening walk, he gets the funnel set on the other side with the Kiwi. In goes the Valks. In goes the bowlers. Of course, deals with the CC with that poison spell, heals those Valks, keeps them up. And at Town Hall 10, the one good thing about this version of the Falcon as opposed to the Town Hall 9 version is just having that extra spell. It actually makes a big difference. An extra rage, an extra heal. It goes a very long way in being able to boost those Valks and keep them up. So he is able to go in. Luckily, with it being a lower tier base, the defenses weren't super high, so we can actually take care of whatever's left, even though the Valks did go down. A lot of that had to do with the clan castle. The queen ended up going in a weird direction. She ended up doubling back, if that makes sense. But sometimes the queen does what the queen wants to do, and that's women for you. But great job. Next, we've got Camp Now, and this of course is getting into the 9v9s, going in with a little TBH. Of course, as you guys know, this is an extremely overpowered attack at the Town Hall 9 level. You don't really want to do it until you're a mature 9 yourself, because having that max 30 queen for Town Hall 9 does make a huge difference. Not to mention, even the king, because you need him to, cut the funnel on the other side. The closer he is to 30, the more he's going to do. So he goes in, of course, with this raid. Your objectives are to deal with the queen. You got to deal with the CC, and you need to get at least 1, maybe 2 air defenses. So, of course, with getting those objectives underway, you're able to really do a lot of damage to the base. And because of the timing of the raid, we've actually gotten it down to where you can almost leave the Lalo for like the last minute 20. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't like leaving it past a minute 30, just because you'll have a solid raid and then you'll just run out of time every now and then, and that's no fun either. So a good rule of thumb is a minute 30, but the more you practice, the more you get it down pat, the more nuance you become with it, and the more muscle memory, the better feel that you have, allowing you to be able to really dial that in and get your kill times down. This is not the quick raid just because of the queen walk, but it's still, once you add up all the components, if you're able to get a solid deployment, you're going to be able to 3-star most any base. And I think you guys know that with the TDH, there's been videos done on this particular army. It's been used, I forget what the record was, it was like 88 3 stars in a row. So shout out to TDH. And here we've got basically a cold-blooded Bogolalo, excuse me. So it looks like a golem, single golem entry, going in with a bowler CC to take out those easy to target objectives. As you'll notice, the queen, 2 air defense, the clan castle, it's all centered right there along with the next bow. So once you take out those things, there really isn't a whole lot the base can hold up to when you have an air attack. Alright, so as far as the raid, once he's done taking out the queen along with the clan castle troops, it's pretty much sayonara from there. The king's actually able to take care of that 1 expo, and as you know, once you take out at least 1 or 2 air defense along with the next bow, there's not much the base can do to stand up to a precision air attack. So he goes in, gets a heavy deployment on the front side with the Lalo. Once that's done, you want to get those minions out as soon as possible. Use your spells to take out the defenses accordingly. And you'll notice that by the end of the raid, there's so much left up. Even the golem, is still basically like full health. Of course, the heroes did end up going down, but when you look at the amount of troops left on the board, you can see just how powerful these attacks are. And a lot of that has to do with the impact of having those max troops, those level 30s. So, I mean, you know what time it is, guys. If you're watching my channel, you gotta upgrade those heroes. I'll never ever stop stressing that because it is the key to so many good attacks. And here we've got Lintio. Even though it's funny, he hates Witch Slap, but he'll use mass witches. So it's kind of a paradox, maybe? I don't know. But with that being said, you're just gonna go in with a shit ton of witches, however many that equates to, a bunch on the left, a bunch on the right, split them in an even amount, and then you're gonna use your heroes with the bowler CC to kind of go in and take out the core. And because there's so many witches, you don't even need the healers. You're able to basically just overwhelm the base. Now, of course, you do have to be careful. Every now and then, something can definitely screw this particular plan. Whether it be like a tricky bomb setup on the side. As you guys know, skeletons don't trigger bombs, so they can go past, and then up come your big group, giant group of witches, and boom, end of raid. But this is definitely an attack you don't want to do unless your heroes are max, because having that king at level 30 doing the majority of the tanking is definitely going to make it so that he can kind of go down very quickly. Of course, with the bowler CC, having those troops under spells, whether it be rage and heal or just rage, as you guys know, it puts out so much DPS so quickly, especially with those bounce, those skip hits. It really does a number on the Town Hall 9, which is why almost 75% of all Town Hall 9 3-star armies utilize some sort of bowler CC. It just gives it that much more power, being that, at Town Hall 9, obviously there's no Eagle, no Infernos. The DPS is somewhat solid, but it's definitely not solid enough to be super difficult. So great job, Lintio, getting that 6-pack. Of course, Lintio, as you know, is leader over in Toledo, so shout out to your boy. And last, here, excuse me, I apologize. Here we've got Lazy Gamer going against their number 12. Of course, he does go in with a little Witch Slap action. As you guys know, Witch Slap is a very solid attack. Not one of my favorite attacks in the world, but it's definitely effective, especially once you cut those corner funnels. One pro tip I can make on the fly here: when you're doing your deployment, you don't want to be too quick with your middle troops. You really do want to allow the corner witches to establish the funnel, work on getting down a few of the corner structures before you start deploying your kill squad, bowlers, golem, and what have you, your heroes. That's going to allow your kill squad, the core of your army, to cycle into the center of the base. It's going to minimize the possibility that the bowlers will circle, which, because of the weird targeting, bowlers will sometimes take a walk weirder than a queen will. So great job, Lazy Gamer. Easily takes out the base, even though it is a fairly solid base design. Obviously, it's got max walls, max defenses, so you definitely got to come correct. And then even with that Tesla farm being on the outside there, takes care of the base no problem. All right, so great job. And that's going to bring us to the next attack. We've got Ghost and Flower taking out their number 14. And this was a basically it's not I'm not going to say a Sui Hero Lalo Hog attack, excuse me, but because you have to take care of those objectives with any type of Hog or Lalo, unless you're using like a Rage Skeleton for the Queen, you got to deal with the Queen. He actually does something very smart here. He saves his level 4 P.E.K.K.A to deal with the King. As you guys know, when you're doing mass Hogs or even a Hog hybrid attack, I know you really do have to account for the King. Otherwise, he can put some major damage on the Hogs, if he's left up. So goes in, easily takes care of some very high value targets, deals with the Queen, Clan Castle troops, both Expos, and a Tesla farm. So in terms of DPS, he's already, kind of crippled the base. From here, he just cycles the Hogs adjacent to the kill squad. Has 3 heal spells left to be able to support the army. And oddly enough, when he did that initial CC pull, he didn't quite get all the troops, so outpoured a few archers. Luckily, he did save the poison spell to deal with that. And just through good spell management, he's able to bring the Hogs through the base. And as you see on the bottom left, guys, like I pointed out, he saved that P.E.K.K.A for the King. So very smart rating. I love to see the creativity. Of course, like I said, that level 30 King is no joke with all the hit points that it has. So you can have a fairly decent sized group of Hogs, still get overwhelmed if you're not careful. So great job, Ghost and Flower. Love to see the versatility. Alright, so we're coming up on the last few attacks here. Of course, we've got your boy Rube 99 going against number 15. Going in with a little Witch Slap. Actually ends up bringing 5 wall breakers on this attack. So he did end up leaving off the middle witches. He likes to bring a couple of Valkyries with the golem, which is not a bad idea because of the fact that it tanks and it puts out a fairly good amount of DPS. It really helps establish that initial portion of the raid that you have to put in place in order to get the kill squad and everything flowing into the core. Alright, so it takes care of business, goes in, of course, which with this type of attack, as long as you get the deployment right and the base, you can't really go wrong, to be honest with you. It really becomes an extremely easy to deploy attack once you figure out the basics, but it's effective, so can't hate on a 3-star, even though Lintio, this really isn't his favorite raid. In fact, he kind of D's on it just a little bit. But in any event, here we've got Kavinsky going against their number 16. And of course, he's doing a, looks like a Sui Hero Lalunian. And of course, with this type of army, you definitely have to, make sure you're taking out the objectives. You need to take out the Queen. You got to take out an air defense. And no, I apologize. He does use a Rage Skelly spell for the Queen, and that's something I wanted to kind of show you guys as well. You don't always have to take out the Archer Queen, guys, and you probably already know this. But as long as you have a Rage spell under a Skelly spell that's under Rage, you're gonna wait until the Queen locks on. Don't anticipate where she's gonna be. Wait for her to make her travel, lock on to the grouping. Then you're gonna drop the Rage Skelly right over it, right on her, wherever she's standing, and then she just melts. Literally takes like 1, 2, and then she's dead. All right, so very, very interesting. Not interesting, but a different way to deal with the Queen. So if you ever have something that's kind of in the core, something that you're not able to get good access to, at least you can still be effective. So with this one, looks like he's going in with a 1 Golem, Bowler CC with a back-end Mass Hog. So starts the funnel. Luckily, the base design didn't really target too well, so a lot of those trash troops were easily taken out. Once he's got the trash taken care of, the funnel is established well, he brings in that Golem, brings in the bowlers, goes in with the heroes, jump spell down, and brings everything into the core of the base. Of course, with the rate spell, as you guys know, those bowlers do work, and is able to take out, well over 30%. He'll probably get to at least 40% before he brings in the hogs. You'll notice that by the time it's all done, with the heroes, kill squad, and everything, he's well on his way to 50%. So of course, you want to bring in the hogs adjacent to the kill squad, so they come in from the top. You want to come in fairly heavy, especially on the front side of the attack, because you want to make sure you bring enough DPS to overwhelm the defenses on that front side. Of course, as he's going through, uses the remaining heal spells that he has, those 2 heals, to deal with the expos. Luckily, the queen stays up, converges with the remaining hogs, and then once you add everything up, the base just melts. Bringing in those cleanup minions, he gets those down at ASAP. As soon as the hogs deal with the defenses on that side of the base, basically, I don't want to say as soon as you deploy them, but in a way, you can almost, do that. You don't want to jumble everything up, so you don't want to mess up, your heal spell deployment, just to try and get those minions out quickly. But as soon as you get those hogs down and you don't have to drop a spell, you definitely want to switch over, get those minions out, because you can minimize your lag time at the end of the raid when it comes to cleaning everything up to clear the base. Alright, so coming down to the last couple attacks, here we've got Kavinsky, and I believe this one was also a this one was a Sui hero mass hog. Because of how everything is set up here at the beginning of the top of the base, he's easily able to get a good funnel started. Brings in those heroes, and they're not even max heroes, but he brings it in, breaks into that queen compartment, takes out the archer queen, deals with the clan castle, and from there's so many hogs, 35 level 5 hogs and a CC full of max hogs. So if you think about it, there's so many hogs that the base can't stay up, as long as you deal with those initial objectives. Everything is nice and compact, so those heal spells really are high value. He's able to take out pretty much the entire base, and still have, I would say, a good 70% of the hogs that he initially started with left up, when it's all said and done, even having that lava hound up. Good thing is that the lava didn't end up popping. Luckily, it actually ended up working out in the favor. Only bad thing is that with that king still being up, because the hogs did get worn down over time, it actually came a little bit close, but there was enough max hogs still left up to be able to overwhelm the base. Alright, so great job, Kavinsky. I believe he had a 6-pack as well, so shout out to your boy. And here we've got Venatores going in on their number 19. Of course, he's going in with a single golem, bowler CC, back end hog attack. And it's the same thing, guys. Because the expos, because the queen is all right there, it makes it so easy to get that initial high value out of your kill squad, and then you bring in the back end, hogs, and then it's just good night, man. And that's the 3-star in the base. So of course, with the bowler CC, he gets the lore, brings the kill squad into the fray. Of course, the CC troops are going to go up to target them, and then when it's all said and done and over with, the expos will go down, the CC will go down, along with a couple Teslas, and after that, there's not a whole lot that can withstand 27 hogs with 3 heals. So very awesome. He didn't even have to use a rage spell to be able to deal with the initial DPS from the expos, just because of how the base was designed. So even though the heroes were there, it just wasn't enough, with the high level heroes and the bowlers and the golem. So goes in with the hogs adjacent to the kill squad, because he has those 3 heal spells. Like I said, there's not going to be a whole lot the base can do. So he works the spell management as the hogs kind of traverse through the base, and by the time it's all done, it's a 3-star, obviously. But again, great job, Venatores. That's how you do it. Another triple for the good guys. Alright, so last attack I'll be bringing you is Rube's attack on their number 20. And I believe this attack is a queen walk into... No, it's one of his... well, it is a queen walk, I know that. But then he does like this weird thing with the Golem King and then a backhand Lalo. So it's kind of like a cold-blooded queen walk Laloon with minions to clean up. So I'll have to double check, see if there's a specific name for this attack. But in any event, you know, because there's nothing really guarding the queen, you know, he's able to, you know, use the queen on the top side of the base to establish that funnel. Uses the golem and the other troops on the other side to establish that funnel. And once that's done, you'll notice that the air defenses were down, the CC was dealt with, the Archer Queen was dealt with, so the Laloon that, you know, he puts out, you know, takes care of a good chunk of what's left. And then because the Queen, you know, was able to stay up, King stays up, you know, there's not much the base can do after that. So definitely wanted to bring you guys this war. We are actually rocking and rolling, not just over here in Toledo, but Legion of Doom is also about to hit 400 war wins. So shout out Dab one time. Definitely got to give credit where credit's due, because that's a lot of winning, guys. But with all that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching. As always, Trizzle is going to take care of you guys, bringing you some solid, sexy, high-level war attacks. And as you guys know, Town Hall 12 is coming. Yes, guys, Hype Beast. I mean, hashtag Hype Beast. It's going to be right around the corner. So those of you who have been waiting, it's actually going to get exciting again. And I love that. You know, that's one thing that I love about the game. I'm not going to run my mouth too much longer because, like I said, I really appreciate you guys watching. Trizzle tuning out.